What's up, my Northern Ricans? This week on Northern Ricans, look, I got the T-shirt. We got merch. Just to say it out, but we got Avengers Doomsday. Okay, I know everybody's seen it, but we'll talk about it in a second. As far as World War Chiche, the acquisition of Paramount and WB with certain things that are about to happen. We'll get into that a lot later. And then just pretty much open to throwing out ideas about stuff that we've come across through the week. Anything from X-Men '97, hell, and even the lost animated the lost rights that that Disney is facing with their characters and how they're becoming horrors. Well, that and more. And like the captain would always say, hit it.
Welcome to the zone where geeks collide, where comics and heroes come alive. Marvel, DC, Starfleet in the mix. Lightsabers flash, we're nerding out quick. Nerdorican's the name of the show. Dive into the worlds you already know. From the big screens to the comic store. Super stories and so much more.
What's up, my Northern Ricans? What's happening, mi gente? Back for another adventure here. As always, I'm Groovy Mo. I'm Ivan. How you doing? All right, and let's get into it, bro. This week, my hairs are still standing up, though, from I think I probably watched it 50 times, that Avengers Doomsday trailer. I lost my caca. I'm gonna say it that way, so instead of saying the real word. Yes, you're not the only one. I've actually seen it to the point where I have this thing where I tend to take things apart every time a new and it's always a new trailer comes out. So movies too. Like every time, I could watch any particular favorite from Superman, Star Trek, whatever, 100 times. I'm always gonna find something new. Yes, every time. Yes. And one of the key things that I just saw was during the Avengers trailer for the Doomsday. Everybody's talking about, Thor with the blue, and then there was another two fingers. Well, that was an anime reference to Dragon Ball Z, but not only Dragon Ball Z, the Bleach anime also. Oh my God! But not enough people are talking about Doom's armor, where there's a possibility, when the mill going around, is that we might actually get the appearance of Ruin King Thor. I have one noticed that Doom's outfit, his costume, armor, whatever you want to call it, has rune symbols. Now, we all know that Doom has been an ultimate force in the Marvel Universe. Yes. Scientist, inventor. I mean, it came to episodes in the comics of him facing Iron Man. It was like armor for armor. Yes. But the only difference, and I know you're coming up with this, is the fact that most people either forgotten or we haven't, is the fact that he is also practiced in the mystic arts. The man is also like another Doctor Strange, and he's riddled his armor with it as well. So it's like it didn't surprise me when I saw the two-finger thing, and yes, the Dragon Ball reference. I was like, but then when I saw it and it pointed it out, there was a rune symbol on his hand. I was like, he's Mystic Doctor Strange. Ooh, yes. What? Now here's another thing. In the trailer, you see a female, dressed up, right? That's one of his acolytes, isn't it? One of his acolytes. But I saw yesterday. Mm-hmm. It could be a simple rumor, but San Diego Comic-Con is this weekend. Yes, it is. That same getup was at San Diego Comic-Con. Yes, and every day has been turning a specific color. So it went from green, apparently, to now it's purple. Yeah. So some are even saying that it could be the Scarlet Witch. That is the rumor. That is the rumor. I was like, but there's also Agatha. Agatha. Hence the purple. The purple, right. And she's like a leech when it comes to anything mystical. She will suck poor choice of word, but yeah, pretty much. We're keeping it PG, man. We're keeping it PG. Okay, she's gonna drain dry anyone that is of a mystical force. So if they're witches, like she did in her miniseries, yes, she got her ability by draining them all dry when they all hit her at the same time. She almost beat the Scarlet Witch, but then she turned her own weapon against her. Yes. And then turned it on her, and she got drained dry. I was like, okay. Exactly. So, I mean, Avengers Doomsday is going to be epic. Epic. It's going to be... I think that's an underwhelming word, to say the least, to tell you the truth. Well, if you not even awesome could cover it. Yeah, but, you know, it's going to be one of those... How do you beat the lead up to Endgame? You know what I'm saying? This is true, because Infinity War, Endgame, epic films that even it's like, 5-7 years later? Yeah. It's still in the back of our minds and about to come back out before this movie comes with 7 minutes of extra footage and an extra, end credit scene, right? To tie it in to Doomsday. Which one? Endgame, yes. So we're re-releasing Endgame. It's going to have 7 minutes of extra footage. So whatever and then an extra scene, an extra the end credit scene that leads it into Doomsday. So you're like, I'm already screaming, put it in theaters already. Go hold on, I want to see it. Yeah, it's going to be crazy because look at the Fantastic Four film. I took and I'm thinking, since you broke it down, okay, when they showed the scene that Thor is giving this speech, there's a scene when they introduced the Fantastic Four. The last man in the background coming out of the ship was Thor. And I'm like, okay, is it the same Thor of that universe or another universe? Because remember, he has Mjolnir, but Mjolnir is undamaged. Like in the scene where, you heard, Steve Rogers. If you haven't seen it, sorry, I spoiled it. Now go watch it 10 times if you want. But even then, and he lets it go. When he caught it in his head, I looked and said, wait, where are the cracks? Yeah. It didn't heal. It grow. Even the little wild water had it. I'm going to give you the hint. The rumors are, if nobody that follows comics doesn't know, there was a Hydra Captain America who was able to also hold Mjolnir. Yes. Now, if you look at that trailer, he's not the uniform. It's not the uniform, but he's not. But he's scrawny again. A little scrawny. He's not as muscular. No, as he was in Endgame. And I'm sure he hasn't lost that, personally speaking. He's more defined. No. I'm saying that, like they did in the first Avenger, they made him look real scrawny. That's special effects. Yeah. So that special effects is still probably affecting this look of him being scrawny, and not with the super soldier serum buffed up. Well, I'm thinking it's more of this Captain America from another multiverse. I'm agreeing with that part. And he lost the muscle mass. Yeah, I agree with that point. And he was corrupted. Now, we specifically may not get Hydra Cap. We might get Doom Cap. And now, to my knowledge, there is no Doom Cap, but you never know. Nomad. It would be a good introduction to Nomad, but that was the vibe about it. That was the vibe in Endgame. Was it Endgame? It was definitely after Endgame. It was definitely after Endgame, but I'm just more hyped that once Doomsday come out, are we going to get the lead into, because it has to be done. I'm sorry. Secret Wars. Secret Wars is a how do I put this? Okay, multiversal event. So you can have two of any in there. Think of like Deadpool and Wolverine. It was also multiversal where they were at because you didn't have Captain America. You had Johnny Storm. Exactly. That's why that kind of messed me up. It was a beautiful mess me up scene because you're sitting there. I mean, you do it just like Deadpool. I loved it though. I loved it because it was out of pocket. It was so out of pocket. You're like, I really fell out my chair. I really fell out my chair laughing so hard when he said, "Fly on!" He was like, "What the?" Yeah, because you didn't think of it. No, nobody thought of it. No, and yet it's true. He did play both those parts. Yes, he did play both those parts. Yes, there's actually like him. Definitely, what's his name from Creed? Michael B. Jordan. Michael B. Jordan, who also was Killmonger in Wakanda. So you don't know. You really don't know, and that's the beauty of this because I have to be honest here. It's like Marvel has taken advantage of something that DC created and pretty much almost owned it in a way, the way in the comic books they did their multiversal, events, crisis this, crisis that. They were the ones are the gold standard in the comic book version. But the gold standard, I have to give it to Marvel and the movie standards when it comes to the cinematic universe. They're bringing this in. Each one, like, think Spider-Man Homecoming. Hello. Yes. They hit it so well within the trailer when they X'd out these things. And then when you actually watch it, it's like, there's Toby. Oh my God. And then you got Tom. And then Andrew. And then and I'm like, it was an epic clash. And this is why I give Marvel the credit. Much props. Because when they're doing something long term, they go all out. And I used to bring this up to my peers that are comic nerds. Years ago when they started doing the animated films and the TV shows, I never understood why DC dominated the animation field and the TV shows and movies. And Marvel did the animations, which were good, but they were not as they were lackluster. But when Marvel does movies, they go all out. DC, on the other hand, does the opposite. When it comes to movies, they go all out, but the direction sometimes goes way off topic, in my opinion. Because when it comes to the animations, the story's a killer. And I always bring this up to Lewis. When you're doing a comic book film, why is it that the director and the writers need to change up the whole story instead of tweaking the story that's already been done? See, this is the part where I agree. When we had discussions beforehand, that I had to change my view and not be like, well, that's not how it happened in the comic books. That's not canon. And then I said, and I took myself out because one time, bruising social media, somebody had said, yeah, I love the MCU. Kind of caught me off guard for a second and said, what do you mean? She said, I love all the Marvel movies, the Iron Man movies and all that. I said, have you ever read a comic book? No. But that's why. That's why, because generally for us, we're going to go watch a comic book film. We already know the source material. So you put it on, and we're going to be like, really? Yeah. That's not how it happened, but yet it has happened, and they did it and they did it on purpose because the average person doesn't know anything that we know. No, matter of fact, true story. When the first Avengers came out, and then the end credit scene when they introduces Thanos, I was the only one sitting there, and they had a bunch of kids here. My family had the entire row, and I said, Thanos. Everybody was like, huh? Yeah. They turned to me, and I was like, what do you mean? I said, this is the Infinity War saga. What do you mean? He said, 5 jewels, 1 glove, and the snap, which will end the universe. And the kids in the front, they're teens and like 19 years old, they're like, it's like when DC came out with the Suicide Squad. No one knew what who or what is the Suicide Squad. And, when I was at work, everybody knew I'm the comic nerd, And they was like, yo, what's Suicide Squad? Alex, what's Suicide Squad? So all I did was sent them a link on Google. This is Suicide Squad. This is what they do. This is what they are. Now, when I saw them, I liked the movie. I don't know what was all the hate about, but Suicide Squad cannot be determined in one movie. No. Because comic book references, Suicide Squad, somebody's always going to die. Yep. And a new member's always coming in. They made 2 movies, granted, little wonky. We got the introduction of Starro, Yeah, I get it. No problem. Now, the movie didn't do as well as the first one, but what happened? You got a great show in Peacemaker.
Yeah, we did.
You got a great show in Peacemaker.
And to be honest with you, I didn't see it till about Peacemaker. I think it was in season 3.
Okay.
I didn't watch the whole. I mean, I binge watched it to catch up, and then watch season 3 because I was like, I remember seeing the movie. Into his house, I was like, this is not a bad character, but it didn't catch me enough. Then I started hearing the buzz about Peacemaker. But when the fuck did he out on Peacemaker? Okay, I'm gonna watch this. Click, and I'm like, oh, this is good.
But one thing I loved about DC is when they made a movie, if you really look at it, who was Peacemaker? Who was Deadshot? Who was El Diablo? No one's ever heard of these characters.
No.
And DC likes to introduce these characters that no one's ever heard of, which I think is great.
It is great because
Marvel recently started doing it now.
They did it well. James Gunn did it with the Guardians of the Galaxy. Because they were an unheard of comic. Only few people have actually watched it, and especially when it came to the crossovers with the Avengers.
Yeah.
I mean, young dude did not have an arrow. And I know. Young dude was an archer.
Yeah.
There with him and Hawkeye side by side shooting.
Yes.
I'm like, ooh, okay. But that's the thing. Since they were so obscure, and not many people watched it, so when James Gunn took it, he turned it into something more. I mean, he still kept certain things the way they were to an extent, but it became bigger from.
But it goes back to what I said before. The story's there.
Yeah, the story's
If
there.
you tweak it correctly,
Yes.
you can have a blockbuster. Now,
Superman with James Gunn, Supergirl.
I haven't seen the Supergirl. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna watch it for Lobo because
That's probably, and I'm going to say this honestly, maybe I'll cut aside. She's cute, and her paying Supergirl was good, but I like Sasha Calais' version from The Flash better.
yes,
And not because she's Latina and gorgeous.
no,
Out there watching, mwah.
it wasn't because of that. It's
It
that
was.
she took it for him. But for me, is that she took, because if you guys read the Flashpoint series,
Oh, yeah.
she took the role of a male character and made it her own, but in the aspects of this is what happened to Kal-El in the original Flashpoint.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Granted, now the Flashpoint, I had high hopes for that movie. That was supposed to be their Doctor Strange multiverse madness. In my eyes, it didn't fare well.
No.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
No, I concur.
I didn't watch it.
I concur. Every time I do watch it, I only watch Sasha Calais.
I watched it for one time.
For every time I've come across it, that was for watch it. It's Sasha Calais that catches my
My
attention.
reason for watching it, and Michael Keaton.
That too. Michael Keaton.
That was it.
Batman. What? You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts.
Which I'm a little disappointed with DC with him about that.
Yeah, because I would have expected him to be alive and not be the one, and not George Clooney showing up.
No, not in that aspect.
No, in that aspect. I want to see him, not George Clooney.
I mean,
George Clooney, really?
no. But I can get it. He could play the Bruce Wayne part a little bit better than playing an actual Batman.
Mm-hmm.
But my beef with DC and Michael Keaton, and it's not Michael Keaton's fault, because I want him to do it at this age, is he's been pitching after Flashpoint of Batman Beyond.
Oh, yes.
He's been pitching to Time Warner. Was it Time Warner or WB? WB. He's been pitching to WB. He said, listen, I'm at the age where I can break down and look like Bruce Wayne from Batman Beyond and get somebody to play Terry McGinnis.
Hold that thought on the pitching. We're going to have more on pitching in just a moment after these few commercials. I got to go do the poll and make money to keep this all going. So that's my cue with the music in the background. Okay, so we'll be back, guys. Back after this.
Come, let's play.
LDM Radio.
Come, let's play. Fun is what we crave.
Let's go.
You're listening to New York City's LDM Radio. Another long stretch of continuous music.
Back into time.
New York City's LDM Radio.
The best radio station in the world is right here, right now.
Hey, we're back. I'm really out of breath, I know.
And it's hot.
It's hot. I had very little to drink. I still had to swing around the pole. But I made enough money for the least next segment going on. As you were saying about pictures.
Again, just to recap, Michael Keaton at the age to play Bruce Wayne.
Yes.
Now we need somebody that could play Terry McGinnis.
What would you cast for that? Think about that for a second. Who would you cast for something like that?
I'm going to come back to you on that.
All right.
I'm going to come back to you on that. But now, there's rumor of Paramount and WB.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Paramount has made great shows, made great TV series.
Right.
This is the time to pull that plug and get DC back in the running.
Mm-hmm.
Because
it's just a chaotic.
it's a mess. It's a mess.
It's a mess.
It's a mess. I mean, and I get the kid-friendly scenarios. I get it.
No. Screw the kid-friendly scenario. Come on. Superman. Okay, Man of Steel has beaten both the Superman and the Supergirl in just box office numbers, and even combined can't even come close to him. Totally. Okay? As one even person, we might agree, when somebody watched the screening of Superman, he said, and I agree after watching it a few times myself, so I feel like I watched the animated series. Yes. But that's not what Zach brought that people love, because there was a realism to it, to the point where he didn't mention where the reference he got it from. Superman Earth 1. Because I knew that's what it was. I was like, I saw it, and I was like, that's Superman Earth 1. And then when Zach...
You could tell them about the costume alone.
Mm-hmm, the costume, but the storytelling. It's like it's just like that book. And I love that approach because it's more realistic.
Yes.
It is heartfelt. It has a lot of dramatic content behind it. Like the scene with Jonathan Kent and his son when they saved the kids in the school bus.
Right.
That whole conversation.
Yes.
And I'm sitting there going, whoa, wow. I would have never thought of that.
That scene, and this is going back to the death of Superman, where I don't know if you remember the cover. It's a holographic cover where Superman's coming out the casket. That's the vibe that it gave me in that series when they were trying to, all these ideas of Superman's coming back to life, in some way, shape, or form. Now, was Man of Steel star-studded? Yes. Yeah, but the storytelling is there. But it was only Superman. Even though it was star-studded, it was only Superman. Meaning that it was a Superman film. Yes, but when I say star-studded, those stars are great. But those star-studded cast did not overpower. No, they did not. The movie, it balanced it off perfectly. Mm-hmm. Because when the trailer first came out, I didn't know Kevin Costner was going to be in there. I was surprised when they said Kevin Costner was going to play, Jonathan Kent. Yes. And when I watched him, I won't lie, I cried. I cried at that scene when he told him not to save him. And I'm like, I did the same thing he did, but and I'm like, I've got tears streaming down. And I'm crying like a little book out of the I needed tissues, counseling, alcohol, you name it, just to fucking calm down, bro. No, but it fit the scenario of him trying to protect him from revealing his secret. He really realism, but that's the realism. The realism. But what else, to me was a better realism, or just as good, in my opinion? Zod in the bank scene. He was like, stop, don't kill the family. Like, we all know, bro, Zod does not play. You're gonna have to kill him if you want him to stop. And for the fact that he let him get so close to that family, I was like, if you're not gonna kill this man, he's gonna kill that family. And then when he did, just the pain of killing what is the last link
of his heritage, of who he is as a Kryptonian god.
Yeah.
You know, I it's like, wow.
But you see,
Wow.
this is why I like Man of Steel. And I'm not a big Superman fan. I'm more of a Batman fan, if y'all didn't know. What made me a fan of Man of Steel because he took the aspects of Christopher Reeve's Man of Steel
Yes.
in reference to this new Man of Steel. Now, I was hyped. I don't know about you. In Black Adam.
Oh, was he end?
Oh, what? I was like, they were smart.
When I saw that, when I was like sitting there and I saw the silhouette come down, I said, there's got to be one or two people. It's either, and it might get comical, Zachary as Shazam himself, and then they're just getting into a fight right there. But then they hear, I guess I'm not the only one that makes the world this nervous. I was like, oh, no. My head went like,
Yes.
and then when he came out of the mist, I was like, oh, and then to top it off, you have Donna's
Yes.
not Hans Zimmer's, which I love kind of a lot better.
No, you got to put the original in there.
Put the original in there, and that was it. And I'm like, yo, that was like the most 30 seconds of it. I mean, it was like this.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, yeah. When I watched like the reaction video, because there's someone like, let's go. Yeah. That's what I was thinking. And then they told me that he underperformed like this, and no, because he, in my opinion, solely based on facts that I've looked up, when he does Fast and the Furious and he goes overseas, it sells out big time. Something happened overseas that nobody bought into. I'm not trying to make any allegations. I'm just going to leave it at that because to me, it was a good film. Great, but good. Good in action. It needed that kind of opening, and The Rock definitely portrayed Black Adam the way it should have done.
Well, I think what happened is that a lot of people were, and this comes into real world conflicts.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's iffy about what's going on in the world, and you know, it gets to the point where even though Black Adam was great, I thought it was great because it's an introduction to the Black Adam character.
Hello?
My daughter calling me, obviously.
Yeah, she's only 100 feet away.
I know. I saw you leave. Sorry, guys. Priorities first as a dad. Okay, have fun.
You gotta love that.
Yes, I know. Have fun.
See, kids, you should always let your parents know where you are at all times.
Okay, Daddy's busy. I'll call you right back. Again, she just wants to make sure I know where she's at, because I'll go crazy.
Don't forget, kids, let your parents know where you're at all times.
Yeah, but I thought he did well. He fit the character, attitude, and all. But what really, for me, stole the Black Adam was Pierce Brosnan as Dr. Fate. What? Played him perfectly. Where I think a Dr. Fate movie should be in the works, or a show.
Yeah, no, I highly agree with that. When they chose Pierce Brosnan to play Dr. Fate, I was like, it's perfect. It's perfect. Now, Hawkman, I'm a little bit on the fence. I know the actor's other works, and I like his other works, but this one I'm like, Even with the fact he goes, later on, you and me.
But I liked his cockiness.
Yeah,
Hawkman is very cocky.
Extremely cocky.
Because Hawkman thinks he can go toe-to-toe with Superman, Martian Manhunter, Captain Atom. And let's be real, without that mace, he ain't nothing. My opinion.
Exactly.
You know? But, again, I just think in these movies, with superheroes, we have to remember it's entertainment. You can't take what's happening in the real world and say, oh, well, this is not how people should be interpreted. It's a movie. It's meant for us to be entertained, to enjoy.
No, true.
You know?
See that? It's always first entertainment. But that's the thing. When it comes to the entertainment, directors and writers, I'm going to say this really honest here. I see you're trying to capitalize on both. But here's the thing that you should all know that you probably already all do know. If you put up something that's good, guaranteed, you can look at it when I say it. If they don't understand it, they're going to go to their Netflix and say, what's that all about? And then we're going to clear it for you. And then it's going to even be better because I'm the second time around. Most people will get it, and I understand you're trying to tell a comic book story in a more humanistic fashion.
Yes.
And it is kind of hard because some of them are a bit fantastic beyond their words. I mean, Thor, you can get away from because you've always heard about Norse gods and the Greek gods and everything.
I'll give you a perfect example. I don't mean to cut you off.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Right now, Todd McFarlane is trying to get a Spawn movie out. He said he's received thousands of scripts, tossed them all, because it'll start off great and then it beaters off the main character. He says, until I find the right script, the movie will never be done. He said, I need a writer to give me 2 pages. I'll read the 2 pages and I say, okay, give me the next 2. If you start going off script of what I see, the movie's gonna go nowhere. That's what you need when you're making a comic book movie. You got the creator, the writer of the series, bring them on board. Get their input. My opinion, get them on board. You guys would spend less money and would double the money made in theaters or subscriptions anywhere you go. That's just my opinion.
Or, in my opinion, sometimes you could always wind up with a franchise actor who is a nerd like the rest of us, who already knows about the source material and knows where it's coming from, and say, hey, you really need to look at this, especially if you're going to make this happen and you want people to jump on board like it, you should at least get an idea what it's about.
Yes, I agree.
When Jim Gunn said that Superman came from All-Star Superman and his other comic book in which they had him doing different adventures, including battling Darkseid.
Too many sources.
None of them were existent in this movie. The fear, maybe, but none of them were existent. Not those comic book references, because he did the same thing with Supergirl. He said he got it from the comic book Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. All you did was took the sets, the scenery out of the book. Story, no.
And again, you're trying to bring a new aspect to the generation that is.
But sometimes
established. The old adages, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Plain and simple. Because the Supergirl storyline, if you read the comic books of Supergirl, it's an amazing story.
Yes, it is.
Now, hence, I forget, I can't pronounce her last name. Millie Alcock, whatever her name is.
Millie Alcock.
Yeah. She's a great actor. I've seen her in House of Dragons.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Does she have the potential to play a great Supergirl? Yeah. Now, I have yet to see the Supergirl movie, but I can tell already this is just a female version of the Superman movie that came out.
I've seen it already a few times.
And there's not knocking the actors of the movies.
No, but they have their job is to interpret what the writers and what the director wants to bring out. So it's not like Cavill. I could see why James Gunn wouldn't want to work with Cavill because he's like, but that's not Superman. That's not Superman. This is a cartoon that you're trying to bring to life, and yet
the main reason why I was disappointed in that was because he said Cavill was too old.
Good shit.
I'm sorry. To play Superman, he's too old.
No. And look at him. He's in his 40s. Tell me anyone that looks at him right now. We had like a man in his 40s?
No, but we had Batfleck. Everybody thought he was going to play a horrible Bruce Wayne and a horrible Batman.
He did great.
I thought he did great.
The fight sequence. And
not even that.
He's Superman.
Not even that. You know how hard it is when you have a character that tries to portray a human being and differentiate the superhero role? It's very hard.
Very hard.
I think Batfleck did great. Michael Keaton, for his time era, did awesome. Okay? George Clooney, he tried. That was out of his genre.
But Val Kilmer, God rest his soul, also was up there, bro.
But he did a good Bruce Wayne, in my opinion.
Yes, he did.
Playing Batman, not so much.
But as a Bruce Wayne,
he had the swag, he had the look. If he would have had his hair black, salt pepper type, he would have been good, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of the Batman families, you had Tommy Lee Jones as Two-Face. for that era, which is my era, I thought he did great.
He did great. And
Jim Carrey as the Riddler. My choice in Suits, didn't want that one.
No. A little over the top.
Too comical.
No.
And the Riddler's not a comical character.
If he was Joker, better.
But you know who I'd rather see as the Joker? William Dafoe. William Dafoe. Mr. Green Goblin himself.
He does it well.
Not even that, he has that look.
Yeah. Like I said, Homecoming.
Yes.
The way in his face in that last scene when he got the injection, he went from being
Harry Osborn
to
was it Harry Osborn? Yeah.
Goblin.
To the Goblin.
Then he got the injection.
Yeah, but he transitions so well.
Yeah.
And that's very hard for an actor to do.
Nope.
Okay.
He do that.
Now, what bothered me about that movie was, what I heard is that he wanted to do his own stunts. Now, the man's, I think, what? In his late 60s, early 70s, maybe?
I mean, I applaud him, but, yo, sometimes some of those stunts.
So you didn't want to do your own stunts at that age?
No.
I would say let him do it. No, if that's what he wants to do, let him do it. But
he's no Tom Cruise, bro.
It's not that he's no Tom Cruise. I commend it. This is what I'm trying to say. I commend it.
Okay.
But it's like Danny Trejo said. Why should I take the job of somebody else? If I'm eating, I want everybody on set to eat. And great. Listen, if I'm 70 years old, no. My bones are brittle. Okay? I want to be able to still watch my cartoon. I want to still be able to go to my local comic shop and collect my books. I still want to be able to play my video games and live the retirement life paid free as much as possible. But that is just my take on things. As far as the movie world with superheroes, you're not taking enough from the source. You're not taking it, and I'm going to say it again. The story's there. Tweak it, yes. Tweak it the right way. Tweak it the right way.
Tweak it the right way, yeah. I would agree with that. I would agree with that, because sometimes, again, I mentioned Tom Cruise because he does the craziest stunts on his own. And when I say crazy, every stunt that you've seen in every Mission Impossible film was done by him, especially that underwater scene.
Yes.
He held his breath for 6 minutes. 6 minutes!
And he's 60 years old.
What, 1 minute?
I can't do 30 seconds in 2 rounds. So I float.
No.
I float. No. I don't swim, I float.
The day you give me gills, oh man, I'm Aquaman in that water. I'll underwater if I could, but no.
Exactly.
No.
Exactly.
No. Do the same effect that you did for Jason Momoa when he was Aquaman. Blue screen.
Yeah.
Perfect. You can make the hair, well, if he had longer, but the hair float about, and he could just talk.
And believe it or not, I thought he did a great job as Aquaman.
Oh, him? Well, he made, let me put it this way. Jason Momoa made Aquaman machismo, like a real strong king. Not like the blonde-haired other type. I mean, I think the only other person I could see, if they were to offer it to him to do it, would be, what's his name, Reacher. The actor who plays Reacher.
Yes.
I can see him do it because he did do it on the WB, but he was skinnier.
He was skinnier. He said that was his lowest point in his career. But rumor mill is he wants to play Batman, but not just any Batman. He wants to do absolute Batman. Oh. And now everybody's going crazy because they announced Absolute Batman, the animated series. I'm just kidding. Animated movie.
I'm only seeing it in my brain right now. Him in the suit. I mean, the man he's huge. Jacked. He's huge. I aspire to be, when I grow up, I want to be like him. When I grow up. I train in the gym, but not like this man's. I've seen his routine where I'm like, no. But I'm like,
you got to start somewhere.
You got to start somewhere. If I really push myself, maybe, but no. But that man was jacked. And then, if you look, he's already playing that character because of the Reacher character. When it comes to the actual detective, bam, there you go. Now, being a billionaire playboy and all that, that's not hard. How many seasons of Reacher have we seen that not a girl is going to look at them and go, ha, ha, ha. Yeah. And as like we like to say, bajo panty. Bajo panty, that's it, bro.
That is absolutely true.
So, yeah, I can see that absolutely happening. Even though the absolute Batman is not rich, he's poor as that kid, but he makes everything by hand, and he's still a badass when it comes to hand-to-hand combat, to say the least.
Yes. And you know, Marvel kind of did that first.
In what series?
Spider-Man.
Oh, wait. Yeah. The Scarlet Spider.
And Riley.
He had, and it was shown in the very first Spider-Man film, in which you had those old-style web shooters.
No, but comic book-wise, Spider-Man was the first. There was if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong. It was Bill Riley, and then there was another guy that tried to do it, and he would make everything from whatever he had at home. So Marvel got all these ideas, and you know, pretty much Marvel and DC are right in the same age range, industry-wise.
You know what's funny is when I come to think about it, it's like the time that Stan Lee was working there, we brought these characters to them. They said, they're not going to go anywhere. That was probably now when they look at it, probably been the biggest mistake they ever made in their life, because they had just said, yeah, let's put it together. Could you imagine the dynasty that DC would have been at that point? No Image, no one would ever touch them. I don't care how big they get with their characters.
I don't know if you guys have seen it. I'm sure you've seen it in the documentary. They said, I used to come out, we would just create their names.
Yeah.
And, you know, when the kids said, we used to Monstro or Concreto, or I'm not using the exact same names that he said, but he would just come up with some wild names. Some of them were pretty decent for the time and the era. But you look at it now like, yeah, no, we're not doing that. That doesn't make sense to me. That's not. But at the time, the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, we had some crazy characters with great abilities. It's just what killed it was the name.
Yeah. Sometimes the name can make a difference. I think in our very first show, when we did like all Latin comic Marvel characters that were made, and then one of them, his special ability was knife throwing. And I looked at the camera like I'm looking at it now. Throwing knives.
No, I got your beat. Condiment Man. Mustard and ketchup. What's so dangerous about that? Kite Man, who became so popular animated-wise. What's so dangerous about him? That he could fly, pick me up, and then just drop me? It's not too dangerous for a guy my size.
No. No. This is true.
You know what I'm saying? But
Those are the hits and misses.
It's the hit and misses, and then what happens years later, boom, all of a sudden people are interested on you know, a guy named the Leaf Blower, Lawnmower. You know, we had crazy movies growing up. The Lawnmower Man.
Yes.
You know? Puppet Master.
Well, you know what? Now, let's take away anything. Puppet Master was the movie at the time, bro.
Yeah,
those characters
was one of the main villains to the Fantastic Four.
Oh my God, that's right.
You see?
Like now it comes to me years later after hearing it, like, wow, that's right. Yowza.
Yeah, man.
Oh my God. You know what? We're gonna take another break, our final one, and we'll be back with some more Little Ricans. Stay tuned.
Hi, I am Charles Laloma, and I am the owner of the LDM Network, and I hope that you're enjoying this episode. But if you want to see past episodes of this show or any other of our shows, go to the ldmnetwork.net. We have large contents of different type of shows, and we even have podcasts. So again, check them out at ldmnetwork.net. So without further ado, let's get back to this episode.
the woman that found the cure for herself and then gave him that cure to use, and vampires started blowing up. But those two, this is me. But those two, I felt like, there could have been something there.
Remember, there was a deleted scene when they had introduced Morbius at the end. Because after deleted scenes, after that whole interaction between him and the female lead, he sent somebody watching when they turned around. You see Morbius, like maybe a mile or two away. It's not the Jared Leto Morbius, but it's Morbius. Now here's my problem with the Blade movie. That if it continues, because you have to remember also, when Blade came out, is when Marvel was at its lowest. Marvel was practically going bankrupt. No, it was bankrupt. It was 1 foot in, 1 foot out, and Blade kept them afloat.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, the money that they got to do the Iron Man film, to create Marvel Studios and then do the Iron Man film, was from Blade. Blade is, I know they say that Robert Downey Jr. is the grandfather of Marvel. I wouldn't take that away, but the person that launched it, started it, and got its name out there for the public to go, hey, it's a Marvel film, I want to go see it. With Blade, and then came Tobey's Spider-Man. Oh yeah, those movies, which build it up. I'm just going to throw this out there. I don't appreciate how this generation is casting aside Tobey Maguire, saying that, he was too old to play Spider-Man in that era. No, he was not. No, he was not. And this is my opinion. Y'all can hate on me all you want. I really don't care. It's my opinion. Tobey was based off of the animated Spider-Man series in the 90s. Because he was already an adult, a young adult, struggling to be on his own. And in the animated Spider-Man series, that's how he was trying. Okay. He was on his own. The first and the second one, where he was part of the group. Because a lot of people say that same thing with Tom Holland, since Tom Holland was in high school and he was doing Spider-Man, that even in the animated series, he was still a young kid in high school, not college. But you see how in the Tobey series, which is what the Tom Holland series tried to do, they replicated it. We had Spider-Man 1 and Spider-Man 2. With Tobey, they saw him as a young kid. Well, let's be honest, he was 16, 17 years old. That's what Peter Parker, I think they try to replicate in the Tobey series. He was in high school. Part 2, he's working. He's got his first little gig, job, working. He's struggling as an adult. Emotions are everywhere, whatever. Tom Holland Spider-Man did the same thing. Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, not so much to me in my opinion. Still a great series. They could have done so much more with it. The Amazing Spider-Man. But people tend to forget. You got Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, it's Spider-Man. Right. Then, mid to late 90s, Marvel came out with the series Amazing Spider-Man, which is Andrew Garfield. True. And Tom Holland Spider-Man is what we see today. Not really. To me, it's the ultimate Spider-Man. When you think about it, you're right. Ultimate Spider-Man. You got Amazing, you got Spectacular, Spider-Man, and then you have Ultimate Spider-Man. I forgot about that series as well. But what I think Marvel is doing that could be smart, they introduced the Ultimate series with Miles Morales. Because it's due for Miles to come out. Yeah, and I think Secret Wars was going to happen. I think Secret Wars was going to happen. Maybe. And that would be the most spectacular, ultimate thing that they could do, because I'm going to be honest, Marvel is going to be this is their year they're going to make a fortune. They're actually capitalizing on the conversation that the CEO of Disney was saying, quality versus quantity. Right, yes. And if you look at it right now when we see, of course, Spider-Man, Brand New Day, and I'm already saying it, bro. That's already $1 billion right there in itself. That's already making. Yes, it is. And then with Doomsday, and then of course Secret Wars to follow. Woo! And the thing with Secret Wars, if I remember correctly, Doom took the power of a Beyonder in order to create Real World, to create what's going on. The reason why I'm saying this is that in Wolverine and definitely Wolverine, they introduced the Calverine. And people have been on a buzz about it. But they also said, and they drew a look of what Henry could look like if he was the Beyonder. You think about that? Because there was rumors he was supposed to be the Beyonder. I'm going to put that out there. I'm going to wait for it to happen. But I told you so. It could be a possibility because remember, Secret Wars is the introduction to Black Suit Spider-Man. Yep, Black Suit Spider-Man. But there's a scene floating around also in YouTube. There is a scene that Tom Holland is crying at the grave of his of Aunt May, and he's holding in a tube the symbiote. And he pops it open, and I hear the people cheering it on. Like, hey, this is an actual scene. This is being filmed. Somebody actually caught that, and I'm like, what if it's an end credit scene in this brand new day? Notice in me that I said this because that's what it feels like to me. Well, remember when the ending of Venom, a piece of it. Yeah, and he sees Spider-Man. Yeah, remember he opened up that codex that sees everything. Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. And with that, again, part of it says sweet sorrow, but I'm getting a little toasted, and I need to barbecue myself on the other side before I flip over. Yeah, I'm looking like a penny right now. So. There you go. So, as always, I'm Groovy Mo. I'm Ivan. This is Puerto Ricans. Live long and prosper. Later.
Welcome to the zone where geeks collide, where comics and heroes come alive. Marvel, DC, Starfleet in the mix. Lightsabers flash, we're nerding out quick. Nerd Ricans the name.